guys, and welcome back to Tennessee Grillin' and Smokin'. I'm Dustin, and today, guys, we're going to do my favorite thing I've made before on anything, just my favorite cook entirely. We're going to be making pork belly burn ends. Alright, but I'm going to do it two different ways this time. I'm going to cut this thing in half. I got an awesome 15-pound pork belly. I got it from Benton's Hams down in Vonore. And what we're going to do is I'm going to cut this thing in half. I'm going to do half of it right here on the Pitboss, and that's what I did it on last time. But the other half I'm going to put right over here on my Smoky Mountain. I'm going to get it cleaned up, get it fired up, and hopefully we are going to have us one heck of a meal. I'm going to be using, over here I've just got Kingsford charcoal, and I've got cherry wood. I've got cherry wood for my Smoky Mountain, I've got cherry pellets for my Pitboss. Now that cherry smoke is going to give it a nice dark flavor, I hope, and that's what we're looking for. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start getting this thing cut up, and I'll see you here in just a minute. Alright guys, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to get it about halfway, and we're just going to cut it right down the center here. Alright, we're having a good cutting board, and a good knife comes into play right here. So this right here, I always talk about it, this is Greenback Designs cutting board, and I believe this right here has reached into its max. Look at that, that pork belly covering that whole thing. So we got her split in half now, and I'm just going to move this a little bit to the side. And what I'm going to do with this half is I'm going to cut it up in 1-inch cubes, about 1-inch cubes, because once you get her on that smoker, they're going to start dying down and shrinking up a little bit. So you just run that knife, get you about a 1-inch cut, and I'm going to go down the whole thing on both of them. Actually getting those, I'm going to come back this way. Hopefully we'll end up with close to about 1.5 inch cubes. So I ain't going to bore you and sit here and make you watch this whole thing. So I'm going to go ahead and start cutting this up, and I'll see you here in just a minute. Alright guys, check it out. I got them all cut up to about an inch cubes. Some of them might be just a little bit bigger, but that's fine. They're going to cook down. And so what I've done is I brought over my jerky tray just to make it a lot easier to move these cubes back and forth from the smoker. And I'm just going to place them all on here as much as I can on here. I've got 2 of them, but we're going to try to get them all on here. And then here in just a second, after we get them on this tray, we're going to go ahead and get them seasoned up. So I'll see you here in just a second. We're going to try to fit them all on here. Alright guys, got them up here on this tray. Now, right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just set this tray aside, work on this other half, and then we're going to get them seasoned up. We're going to do the same thing to that other half. We're going to cube it up. We're going to put them up on the tray. And it's getting time to get them on the smoker. Alright. Guys, one thing is, I'm not going to do any trimming. I meant to say this when we started. Now, to do the pork belly burn ends, you got to make sure the skin's off. So whenever you get your pork belly from your butcher, make sure that the skin is off of it. And I'm not going to do any trimming on the back, because that fat's what's going to render out to make that gelatinous flavor. So what I'm going to do is all this gristle on this side. The other half wasn't so bad, but you can see right here you got a little bit of the little gristle. I'm just going to take it off. A lot of it you can just pull off, but that's the only trimming I'm going to do on this thing. But yeah, that fat is what we're looking for. That fat's what's going to give you that great flavor that burn ends are known for. So that's all I'm going to do on this one. I'm going to get her cubed up, put on a tray. Check that out, guys. That's what we're looking for right there. Man, that is going to be so good. I'm telling you guys, this is one of my favorite things. I've done it. It was one of my very first videos. And I did it with apple, I believe it was an apple jelly glaze. We're going to go a little different on the glaze today. But yeah, ever since I made that, I've been wanting to do it again. Burn ends is just one of those things. They call it meat candy, pork candy, whatever you want to call it. And it's true to its name, because that's exactly what it is. It's just candy. You can sit there and eat on that stuff all day long. So I'm going to finish putting these up here on here. My charcoals are about ready on my Webber. I'm going to start getting my grill up to temperature. I'm going to bring it up to about 225 to 250. And I'm going to get these things seasoned up. Alright guys, one thing I forgot to do, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take these off. I'm going to put them on this pan right here. You don't really have to, but I like to do so because just making sure that it won't stick to your tray. I'm going to put some olive oil down on this tray right here. But we're going to go ahead and move these over here to this other tray, and plus we'll just go ahead and season them up while they're on this solid tray right here. Alright, so what I'm going to do, and you don't have to do this, it's been out here for about 20 minutes now. It's probably good enough to hold the seasoning on its own, but I'm just going to do a little drizzle of olive oil on there, not very much, just enough to coat her. Just going to roll around in there, get it kind of coated in there. And what I've got today is my Sucker Buster's Hog Waller. That's what we're going to be seasoning these things down with. So what I'm going to do is start on the top here, just give it a good coat. This Sucker Buster's Hog Waller, man, it's about good on anything. It's going to be great on this. So, kind of pat it down. Now I'm just going to flip them all upside down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep turning them, keep throwing some seasoning to them until I get a good even coat on all sides. Then I'm going to do the same thing to this other rack. So, I ain't going to sit here and make you watch all this, but that's exactly what I'm going to do. Just flip them, turn them, make sure I get them on all sides, then we're going to get them on the smoker. Alright guys, come over here and check this out. We got them all cubed up. We've got them on a greased jerky tray, so I think everything's looking great. Got my temperatures up. This is hitting right at 250 on my Smoky Mountain. I've got it right at 250 on my Pitboss. So this is going to be awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll stick these on here, and probably around 2-hour mark, we're going to come back out here and check it and see if they got that pretty color. Now remember, I'm using that cherry wood just for that color and that good flavor it's going to put on there. So I'm expecting a nice mahogany color on these things. So let's go ahead and get them in here. Now one thing I'm going to do on my Pitboss is also, I've got my smoke tube going. I've got it filled up with cherry pellets also, just for that extra hint of smoke. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and stick these bad boys in here and see how they turn out. We'll line up that smoke tube here in just a second. Man, I'm going to have to get one of those hinge attachments I've been seeing everybody having with these things. They'll make life a whole lot easier. But for now, we just stick it in the floor. Alright. Take this tray right here. We're going to stick it right on top like that. See if we can't get this lid on here now. Perfect. Alright, so here in about 2 hours we'll come back out here, we'll check it, see how they're looking, and if they're looking good enough, we'll go ahead and take it in, get it coated up with some barbecue sauce and put back out. I'll see you here in just a little bit. Alright guys, you can see Geraldine has alerted me that it's about time to pull these things out. She's sitting there here, she can smell it. Come here in there and check this out. Oh my gosh. Guys, it's been 2.5 hours, and you can see how this fat is already starting to just get soft and just perfect. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go ahead and pull her out. It'll make even nice. So you can see I'm starting to get that nice dark brown color. The fat's starting to get real soft and rendered. Not all the way to where we're wanting it yet, but it's going to finish up here in a minute. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take these out and transfer them over here to a pan where we're going to top it off with what's going to make it meat candy. The olive oil on the jerky rack worked out really good. Nothing's sticking. Everything's coming off just like it should. Everything's feeling really good. It's smelling absolutely amazing. So we're going to pile all this stuff into this pan, try to fit it all in here. Surely we got room. Try to squeeze all that in there, try to get a single layer if I can. This thing with an absolute huge pork belly, 15 pounds. All right. We're looking pretty good right there. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go ahead and get some of this brown sugar. And we're just going to spread it all over top of it. All right, we got it layered out pretty evenly now. What this is going to do is going to set up a nice little bite to it. Whenever you bite into that gelatinous fat, you're going to get a little bit of a crunch to it, and all that flavor is going to pop right on out at you. So we're going to get this brown sugar, get it coated pretty nice like this, maybe just a little bit more on this back side. All right. Now we're going to coat the whole thing with some local honey we got from down the road. There's the country garden. So we're just going to get this honey, we're just going to drizzle it all over top of this, and this is going to caramelize so good. It's going to set up such a great crust on this that it's just going to be so good when you bite into it. And also what this is going to do is going to add a little bit of a sweet to this pork belly burnt in, because the glaze that we're going to put on there today is an apple cherry habanero. And so the apple cherry habanero is going to be the little bit of heat we're going to put. This is going to calm it down just a little bit to give you just that perfect flavor that you're looking for. So I've got them all coated pretty well. Just a little bit more. All right, just like that. That looks great. Look at that. Man, this looks so good, guys. All right, we're going to wrap this thing up with aluminum foil. We're going to put her back in there for about an hour and a half. And guys, we'll go from there. So I'm going to wrap this up, then we'll do the same thing with the Webber. I'll show you here in just a second. Now, if I have my first time, this is the first time I've done pork belly burn ends on the Webber Smoky Mountain. And if I had to guess, the color is going to be a little bit more brown or a little bit more darker. It's going to have more of a mahogany color showing off. That's because of the wood, the cherry wood chunks that I put in there. So I'm excited to see that. I haven't even peeked in there to check it out yet. I just looked inside the Pitboss. So these are from the Pitboss. We're going to wrap her up and stick her back in. Alright, so I got the aluminum foil over top of this. This is, like I said, this is what came off the Pitboss. We're going to get it wrapped up nice and tight. Just like that right there. And we're going to put her back in there for about another hour and a half. We'll come back and check these out. Hopefully everything will be cooked down, caramelized real nice, with a good little crust on there. Now, this is what I've been waiting on. Come over here, let's check this out together. I haven't looked yet. Here we go. Oh my gosh, look at that. Oh man. You look at that. Oh man. That right there. That fat is rendered down so good already. Nice. Just as soft. And it's just going to get even softer, guys. It's going to be freaking candy, and it's going to be amazing. So we're going to go ahead and pull this thing off. I wish it was here so you could smell it. That smell is something else. So we're going to set it over here. I've got another pan. I'm going to put this lid back on to keep this heat from going away from me. Wow. Won't you look at that? Look at that dark mahogany color, and that's exactly what we were looking for, guys. That right there, look how soft that fat's already rendered down too. And it's just going to go further. So we're going to do the same thing, guys. We're going to put it right over here. We're going to smother it up with your brown sugar and honey. We're going to wrap it back up. We're going to keep it at 250 degrees on this thing. And we're going to let it keep going. Let this render on down to some absolute meat candy. And I'm excited as all get out, guys. This looks so good. So look at those, guys. Look right there. Man, that looks so much better. So far, if I had to say who's the winner between the Pitboss and the Webber, I'm going to have to go with the Webber, just for the fact that the color is so great. That cherry wood has done an amazing job of getting it exactly what I was expecting. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to cover this stuff with brown sugar and honey, wrap her back up, stick her back on there to finish her off. We'll pull her out in about an hour and a half, and we're going to glaze it up and really put a shine to these, guys. It's going to look so good, and it's going to taste even better, I guarantee it. Hey guys, what I forgot to show you on the last one before I did cover it up, I got a stick of butter, and we're just going to slice off some thin pieces and just scatter it throughout this little tray of goodness here. This is just going to add a little bit more of the fat for it to cook in and smolder in. And man, fat is flavor. And there's plenty of it on here. It's going to be perfect, guys. So just a stick of butter. And I'm going to wrap this all up in aluminum foil, let it all melt together, cook together. And should come out amazing. So I'll see y'all here in about another hour, hour and a half. Alright guys, so the burnt ends have been in there, wrapped up in aluminum foil for about an hour now. A little bit, about an hour and 15 minutes. So what we're going to go ahead and do is get our glaze together. Now the reason we're going to go ahead and do this is because you don't ever want to put a cold glaze on a hot burnt end. You want it warm, you want it nice, you want it caramelized. So here's what we're going to do. I've got some of this Sucklebuster's Honey Barbecue Glaze. We're going to go with it. And then also, I've got some of Cosmo's Cherry Apple Habanero. All right, now these are going to go great together with that brown sugar and honey. It's going to be like the sweet and the heat. It's going to be great. It's going to be a good combination. And to top it off, we're going to throw a shot of Buffalo Trace bourbon in there to give it that good little bourbon kick, because I like to cook a lot of things with bourbon. So what we're going to do here, we're going to go about 50-50. Go ahead and empty that whole jar out there. That Sucklebuster's Honey Glaze. Then I've got the Cosmo's Cherry Apple Habanero with that little bit of a kick to it. Perfect. We're going to mix those two all the way together there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put us a nice big shot Buffalo Trace bourbon whiskey in there. We're going to mix her all together here. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is put them in my Pitboss while this finishes up. I was just wanting that to be covered up for about an hour and a half. It's been about an hour and 15 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and put this in here to start warming up for about 15 minutes. And here in about 15, 20 minutes, we're going to pull them out, we're going to open them up, we're going to look at them, see how they're looking. If they're looking like I want, we're going to throw this glaze to them, and it's going to give them that nice sticky candy texture, and it's going to be amazing, guys. So we're just going to mix this up real nice. Like that. Oh man, it's going to be good. We're going to sit right here on the side. The burn ends on the Pitboss. I'm going to let it heat up, warm up a little bit, mix it together real good. We're going to pull her out here in about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, mix them all in, and I'll see you then. Alright guys, so it's been about 20 minutes here. Go ahead and take this. Ooh, that's nice and warm. Ooh. Ow. Go ahead and get that glaze mixed up, and everything's combined real nice and pretty. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take this off the Webber here. Bring it right over here. Alright, moment of truth, guys. See how they turn out. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, smell that. Smell that right there. Look at that. Look at the fat on this. That is just absolutely gelatinous flavor. Perfect. Alright. So what I'm going to do now is I went ahead and got another pan. I'm going to take these out of this bath. I'm going to stick it in here. I'm going to throw the glaze on it. I'm going to put it back over on top. Put this back on so not lose the heat. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead, if they don't fall apart on me, they're so absolutely perfect, guys. I'm going to stick all these over here. Woo, God. A little hot. I had to get a spoon to strain them over here. But man, I'm telling you what, these things, this fat has rendered down so much that it's just literally falling apart. And I cannot wait to dig into these. Because I tell you, pork belly burnt ends is about as good as it gets for me. About my favorite little treat. I'm telling you, look at that. Come here and look at this again. Look at that. Look at how spongy that is, and just that fat is full of flavor. All that is flavor right there. That's going to be amazing. This Smoky Mountain has put an absolute perfect color to these that I cannot brag about enough. I'm so excited about these. These have turned out better than the ones I made previously. I don't know if the Pit Boss can hold up to them. We'll see here in a second though. But we'll get these all put out in this new pan. Just like that. I'm going to move this pan out of the way here. Alright, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this glaze that's been heating up in that Pit Boss. I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to glaze it. Fill that glaze to it and go about halfway because I got to do the other half with this same glaze. So we're just going to pour that over top of it just like so. That's about right. And we're just going to toss it around. Get that nice sheen to it, that nice pretty shiny look. Oh man, look at all that. Look at all that right there. I'm telling you what guys, this right here is going to be absolutely amazing. I know it's going to be. Alright. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this uncovered now. I'm going to put it back on the Webber. It's still running about 250 degrees. I'm going to put it back on there. I'm going to let it go for about maybe 15 minutes just to let this glaze caramelize and set up, get nice and sticky, just like pork belly burn-in should be. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Then we'll go over here to the Pit Boss and see what that one looks like. Alright, let's go and check out the Pit Boss. This ran a steady 255 the whole entire time. Going to see how these bad boys look. Oh man. Not as dark. It's not as dark as the Webber, but the fat is rendered. Look at how good that looks. Man, that right there is just some gelatinous goodness. That is going to be amazing. You can see that fat breaking up. So alright, so what I'm going to do is the same thing. I've got another pan. I'm going to take these out of this pan, put them in a new one, cover them up with this glaze, and we're going to put them back in there for about 15 to 20 minutes. Alright, so you can come in here and you can see the color difference automatically. You can tell from the Pit Boss to the Webber. Pit Boss has got a little bit of a lighter color to it, but it's still nice and gelatinous, nice and perfect. It might be just a little bit tighter. Maybe they didn't render as much, but they're still rendered perfectly. They're going to be great. I know they will. So we're going to go ahead and just douse it with this glaze here. What we got left, this apple habanero sweet glaze, sweet heat glaze, and it's going to be so good. Look at it shining. Look at it shining. That right there is what we're looking for, guys. This is going to be, these are going to be absolutely amazing. Either way, I still think that the Webber might have the Pitboss Lockhart beat on this one. But there's no going. Look at this. Look how soft it is. It's just breaking apart with me trying to mix it up. That fat, all that's just flavor, guys. So we're going to get her mixed up. We got her nice and prettied up. We'll put her back in here for about another 15-20 minutes. Let it caramelize, get it nice and sticky. We're going to pour out. This moment I've been waiting for. We're going to try her out. Alright guys, see you here in just a minute. Alright guys, it's been about 20 minutes. Let's check it out. Oh God, look at that. Look at that. You can see that glaze shining. Nice and sticky, just like it should be. That fat's rendered. Oh man, check it out guys. That is what pork belly burn-ins are supposed to look like. But I say that, but we still got to go with one more. We got to check one more here. All right, you ready? Pardon the kids back there. They're on the trampoline here at night. All right, here we go. Oh. Man. I want you to check that out. I want you to look at that right there. Look at that fat. That fat is completely jello consistency, just as soft as butter. Man, I can't even put my thumb on it without it going through there. Alright, so looking back, we got our Pit Boss, then we got our Webber Smoky Mountain 22 inch. Cooked the exact same time, same temperature, same way. I'm going to have to just say from the looks, I'm going to give it to the Webber Smoky Mountain just for the fact that it's got that nice mahogany color that looks absolutely amazing. That's what I was looking for whenever we started these burn-ins. I knew that that cherry wood would deliver, and it did. It's perfect. Now, look over here on the Pit Boss. It's a little bit lighter, but it's still, guys, I'm telling you what, it's still just as amazing and as gelatinous as the Smoky Mountain got it. So I want to say just from looks, I'm going to give it to the Webber Smoky Mountain, but I ain't going to know nothing until we dig in here and try it out. So give me just a second, let me get some plated up, and I'll see you here in just a minute. Alright guys, so here we are, this is what we've been waiting on. I put them on there, I seasoned them up, cooked them for about 2.5 hours. Then after that, I took them out, I put them into these little pans right here, and I covered them up with some brown sugar and some honey, just to get that nice sweet flavor mixed in with it. Then after that, I put it back in there for about 1.5 hours. And then after about 1.5 hours, pulled them out, put the glaze on there, which consisted of the Sucklebuster's honey rib glaze and the Cosmos apple habanero cherry glaze. And I put in just a shot of bourbon, and it's turned out to be this right here. Everything looks amazing. Let's give it a try. First, the differences I can definitely tell from the Webber Smoky Mountain. You got a darker flavor. The fat seems to be a little bit more gelatinous than the Pitboss. Then over here on the Pitboss, the fat is still really rendered and really good, but the meat seems to be a little bit better on the meat side. So I don't know which one's going to be better. I'm excited to find out, so let's just dig in. First, we're going to go, excuse me, we're going to take a bite of the Webber Smoky Mountain. Alright, first we're going to look at this consistency right there. You just barely touch into it and you see that fat starts falling apart. That's what we're looking for with pork belly burnt ends. Let's give it a try. I was going to try to bite it in half. There ain't no chance. My gosh. The flavor explosion from the Webber Smoky Mountain is absolutely unreal. I'm tasting that glaze. I'm getting a little bit of that habanero. I'm getting a little bit of that cherry and apple. Really good. I get a faint taste of that bourbon, which is cooked out into that glaze. And that cherry smoke has added a great flavor to this thing. And definitely I am getting a great smoky flavor from the Webber 22-inch Smoky Mountain. I really like it. I like the texture. Everything's perfect the way it should be. That is meat candy at 100%. That is amazing. Alright. Now with the Pitboss. You can still see it's nice and gelatinous. You can barely touch that fat. You see that fat just coming apart on you. That meat looks like it's a little bit more done. Let's try it out. Look at this right here. Come in here and look at that. Look at the inside of that. That is just absolutely perfectly cooked. Great fat. Now you don't get as much as a smoky flavor as you did out of the Webber 22, the Smoky Mountain. But what it lacks in the smoky flavor, I think that you actually get more of a flavor of the pork and of the glaze and of the Sucklebuster's hog waller. I'm tasting a lot of that in there. The meat or the fat is not as soft, but it's just as good. You get more of a true burnt-in flavor, I believe, out of the Pitboss Smoky Mountain. So I think it just comes down to whether you like a good smoky flavor or just a good pork flavor. The Smoky Mountain put an excellent smoke flavor on there. The Pitboss, excellent pork flavor. It's got just a hint where you know that smoke tube really does help. But it don't touch what the Smoky Mountain does compared to flavor, the smoke flavors. So I'm having a really hard time deciding. If I had to choose, I believe the Webber Smoky Mountain got it hands down. I really enjoy that smoky flavor mixed in with that cherry wood, that apple habanero Cosmos glaze really shines through. I'm getting a little bit of that Buffalo Trace bourbon flavor in there. It's just, what really sells me on the Smoky Mountain is just the absolute texture of that fat. That's what when I hear of meat candy or pork belly burnt ends, that's exactly right there what I think of. just something that just falls apart with just when you touch it. So, like I said, I wouldn't turn down either one of these. If somebody offered me, I would take them both in a heartbeat. I have no complaints about the Pitboss, but I think today, just out of my taste, Webber Smoky Mountain wins it. But guys, I'm telling you what, either way you go, absolute great recipe. Please check it out and follow it. And if you want to try some great burnt ends, Pitboss really threw out some good stuff. Webber threw out some great stuff. All in all, I'm amazed on how good this is. It has proven once again to be my favorite thing that I smoke. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy the texture, the flavor, everything about pork belly burnt ends. It's just a real treat, and I know that you would like it. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching, and give me a thumbs up. Let me in the comments what you think about it, and if you try it, let me know tell me what you think, how it went. So yeah, guys, I'm tickled to death. Another great recipe, another great day. Thank y'all so much for watching. God bless. Y'all have a great day.